Hi everyone, it's me Suraj Dev. In this video, I am going through simple Angular routing and how to navigate one page to another page in Angular. And we can check with the sections. On Angular routing, first we need to create the applications and next open the created application in VS Code, and I'm just open the applications in the VS Code, and this is the structures. And here first we need to go through the index.html file, and in the index.html file we can see a base directive within the head tag, and this base directive tell to the router how to compose the URLs. And on creating the Angular application, the base with href equal to / is already setted, and we can close this index.html now. And next we need to go through app.module.ts. On creating application, we are creating the applications with double hyphen routes, and so that the router module is already imported here. In the import section, app routing modules, and go through the app routing modules.ts. Then we can see an module having const routes array, and with this array is imported within router module for routes of routes. And this is the configuration array of our routing applications, and this is the base app routing modules, and so we can see it is now empty. For routing we need to create one more components here, so we can create component with a first and second component. We can create the component by ng generate component name, and the component name here I am going with the component 1, and just press enter. Yes, the component is now generated, and we can see create src app component .html .spec.ts .component .css and etc. And we can also see an updates src app.module.ts. Yes, it's already updating the app.module.ts with automatic importing the declarations array with app component 1 component. And we can create one more component with component 2, and we can minify the code by ngc component 2, and just press enter. Yes, the second component is created, and also updating the module.ts, and we can see the component 2 component is imported in the declarations array also. And we can see I am using ngGC component 2, and in the G for generate and C for component, and for service creation we can see we can create by ngGS service name. And next we need to run the application by ng serve, press enter. Yes, the server is started now, and we can check in the browser the local host 4200, press enter. Yes, the page is loaded now, and this page is already set in the previous sections, and we can see in the app folder there is two folder having name component 1, component 2, and components are loaded in the declarations arrays, and we can check back to web-routing.module.ts. In this file, on the importing section, we can see from Angular bar router package, there is two packages are imported with the name as routes and router modules, and this router module is used for Angular routing, and the routes is used for typing the routes array, and we can add one route or router config with a name as path, component 1, and select the component having the routes with the type component. We can check the component name here by typing component 1. Yes, we can see the auto selection with the component 1 component, and select this component, and on selecting it's imported in the import sections from component 1 bar component 1 dot component, and next save, and it's saved now. We can check back to browser by typing bar component 1, press enter. Yes, at the bottom section we can see component 1 works, means in the app component.html there is a router outlet here, and in this section the component is loaded, and the loaded component is component 1 with this HTML is loaded into the router outlet section, and we can add one more router with a name as component 2 by typing path component 2 comma component 2 component. By selecting, it's also importing the top sections, and save. And we can check with the browser by component 2, press enter. Yes, the two components are loaded, means the component 2 is loaded now, and the component 1 is also loaded. And we need to check this by routing a button or a link in the component 1 section by take the component 1 HTML and add a link with href, and just remove the href and add component 2 and save and reload the application. Yes, there is a link having a component 2 here, and we need to navigate one page to another. Means we can navigate from component 1 to component 2 by adding router link. By the name of path in the routes array, and the component 2 router path is component 2 component -2, and add that path name here -/component 2. It's automatically reloaded, and yes, the link is active now, and we can click on the link by component 2. Yes, it's navigate to component 2 sections, but we can see thus selected contents are not changed. It's because of those contents are aligned in the app component.html, and we can remove this and load to component 1. We can see component works with one link having component 2. Press on component 2, we can see the URL is redirect to component 2, and the content having component 2 works. And we can check back the typing 3. Now nothing is working. Now we can check by removing these components 1, 2 and press enter. Then nothing is here. Means in the app component.html there is nothing is loaded. There is one attribute having router outlet here, and nothing other component is here. So we need to add the default router in this routes array, and just by adding path with a null and comma, redirected to which path. Means in this redirected to section we need to add the component path with the component 1. Next, path match full, and press save. Here we can see the attribute having name path match with a full. Means it's redirected only if the fully matched path having component 1 name is exist. And next we can check with the browser. Just reload now and removing the component 1 and press enter. Yes, it's now redirected to component 1. And next, by changing the URL by component only, press enter. Then it's redirected to localhost 4200. But here it's not redirected to default route. So it's because of the component is unknown routes in the routes array. So we need to add wildcard route having path name as double star and the component is currently I am adding to component 1 component. And it's reloaded now, and remove the 1 and press enter. Yes, it's now loaded with component 1. It's basically a need of not found page here. So we can create the not found component by ng g c not found. Press enter. Yes, the component is created. And check with component and change the name h1 page not found and save. And change the not found or wildcard path to not found component. Not found component, press enter. It's imported here and save. And check on the browser, so automatically reload. Yes, the page not found is working here. And also here we are navigating a link by router link equal to / component name, and we can change this router link to controller sections. Means here we need to add href equal to javascript -, and semicolon, and just add one more function, and we can add the click function here by within bracket add the name with a click and assign the function redirected to component 2, and it's a function, and add that functions to controller sections. Add that functions, and for redirecting the component to component within the controller section, we need to add a router to this component. So we need to add the router to constructor function private router array router package, and this package is imported from at Angular bar router package, and it's a service, and we need to redirect to component 1 to component 2 by function redirected to component 2 by this dot router dot navigate of the function of the path name, and the path name is component 2. Put semicolon, save, and type component 1, and on clicking component it's redirected to component 2, and we are adding on the navigate function there is a array bracket here, and it's used because of if you want to add one parameter to this URL or this path or these routes, then we need to add the parameter here within the routes array 2 by slash colon the parameter name, and I am putting the parameter as name, and save. Next we can check on the component 1, and on pressing component 2 it's redirected to page not found. It's because of on the navigate function is only the path name is here and there is no parameter here, that's why it's directed to page not found component. So add the name by sdv innovations, press save, and check with component 1 and press on the component 2 link. Now it's redirected to component 2 page, and if you want to get these parameter onto this component 2 by take the component 2 component and we need to get the parameter on the starting of that component. So I am adding the codes into the ngOnInt functions, and there is a need of one more thing with adding a activated router service to this component by adding private activated router and add the activated routes, press enter, and it's now imported from Angular bar router, and from this service we can get the activated router details or the parameter details. console.log of this dot activated router dot snapshot dot permap dot get of name. Save. And take the console. We can see the content from the parameter SDV Innovations is printed on the console, and just close the console, and we need to display the parameter to below the content in the app component 2, and so just declare a variable parameter content, and it's a string, so add type string, press and save, and assigning the content to this variable by like this, and save, and call this parameter content on the HTML file with a p double brace the variable name parameter content, and save. We can see the parameter is shown in the component 2 sections, and we can change the content by SDV and press enter. Now it's display SDV in the component. Next we need to add this content dynamically from the component 1. So come back with the component 1 and open the code in the browser by add input box, put as text and add the name as content, ID as content, and getting the content from input to link, there is a need of ng model in the Angular. So add the attributes by ng model with name as the content, and add the content name into the variable sections, content as string, and save. And also we need to add the form controller into the app.module file. So import the form modules here by form modules and add it into import section. From at Angular bar forms. The name is forms module, and save. Next, open the HTML and we need to just print it on here as content. Just reload. Type the content and it's printed on here, and we need to pass the content to this URL. So open the component and change this static content to dynamic by this dot content and press save, and go to browser and add SDV innovations, and it's printed here, and this is known as two-way binding in Angular. And pass this content to component 2 now, and click on the component 2 link. Yes, the content is go through this URL as parameter, and we can check one more thing. Component 1 with the content text as content and open the URL component text. Yes, the content is passed from 1 to 2 component, and check back to component 1 and remove the displayed content from here. Press save, and here pass the content. The content is content to component 2. And check the browser. Yes, the content is null now, so add content. Yes, content text. Yes, here the name is pass the content text to component 2. Just modify the string by just take a via here and also pass the content within quotation mark. Here the pass the content null to component 2. Press enter. Now it's not going to component 2, so add the content, pass the content text. Yes, now redirected to the component 2, component 1. Yes, by this we can transfer one parameter to other component by using this router function, router.navigate functions, and by this way we can navigate from one component to another component also. Yes, by this we can achieve routing in Angular. On next video I'll come back with another sessions, so please stay tuned with my channel by subscribe, click on bell button for notifications, and if you like my video, please like and share to your friends. Thank you.